Welcome back to my channel, everyone. So today we're going to be getting into, of course, what else? How to Get Away with Murder. The latest episode, which actually aired last night. So let's get into it. It was a little confusing for me because of who actually killed Asher, I guess. But anyways, I guess we started out where Annalise is arrested in Mexico from the FBI, and it turns out that Michaela's dad is the one who turned her in. I mean, of course, because I do vaguely remember him helping her, giving her information, contact to run away in the first place and start a new identity. So he turns her in, she comes back, and it starts off with her being in jail and having, it's a really weird dream that she's trying to get a baby and someone's pulling her from behind. I don't know if it's actually Laura's baby or her baby, Wes, whatever. And her mom is in town, and let's just talk about Leslie Tyson. She is so gorgeous and so talented. Leslie Tyson stole the show last night, stole the whole episode. And her and Viola Davis are just great together. Their chemistry are, just amazing. And she was there, and she was trying to talk to Nate and try to get Nate to forgive Annalise, which is BS that he's pissed off at her in the first place. She was just doing her job, she was trying to help the people who, either were innocent and screwed over by the justice system or guilty but deserved a second chance because they didn't get justice in the first place because of the way they were treated by the justice system. All she was trying to do is help his dad. And the governor did what she did because she's trash and she works for Xavier Castillo. Nothing to do with Annalise at all. I mean, yes, his dad got killed, but just because Annalise wouldn't, drop her case or do what was right, I think Nate really needs to get over himself, considering that he's kind of a psychopath who killed an innocent man. Now knows this and still doesn't care. Just said, oh, well, he should do this. It's always blaming everyone else. Take some responsibility, Nate. And then turns out that he gave the FBI a picture of her childhood home that had burned down. So it looks like she burned down her current house, but she didn't. We all know that was her mother, trying to protect her from that, someone violated Annalise or Anime when she was a kid. So, and now she finds out that both Connor and Michaela turned her in or are going to testify against her because they took a deal. Because she came back and she was only charged with a couple of misdemeanors and fraud, trying to scam the government with a fake identity, and she was like, no, someone's not, right? So she teams up with Teagan, and they get her full charges, her real charges, and she talks to them about it. Of course, Connor and Michaela are out for themselves right now because Annalise has been protecting them this whole time, and of course, once again, they accuse her of murdering Asher. Or do you care that Asher said? It's like, this woman has never killed anyone. Like, why would she start now? No, she's not perfect. She's not nice. She's got a shark in, the courtroom. But she didn't even know Asher was dead. And what's confusing me about Asher is the person that actually killed him. So Xavier Castillo is a psychopath, and I guess he hired a woman to kill Asher, and she ends up being this fake FBI agent. Because Asher was a informant, and she was the person that Asher went to for information, and I guess they somehow had a camera in the house. They were under surveillance, and she saw everything that happened. Oliver hitting Asher hitting everything. I'm thinking, why did Xavier have him killed? That makes no sense to me because he wasn't in danger. Laurel Castillo wasn't in danger. He was only trying to get information, about Annalise and try to, correct everyone and trying to get Bonnie to admit, what she did, that she helped kill the DA, trying to set his friends up. But I'm thinking too, maybe she killed him because Xavier, the Castillos, they really want Annalise gone. They want her to pay. And that was their only way, I think. And she figured, well, he messed up. We can't take down Annalise now. So, you know what, I'm going to kill him, frame his friends, so that, this same deal would be in place. They would be arrested, even though they don't really want that. They want Annalise, and that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. Maybe that's why she killed him. That's the only thing I can come up with in my head. And it turns out Gabriel saw the whole thing. he saw Asher getting hit in the head with a fire poker through the little crack in his door, underneath his door. And first he thought it was Laura Castillo, but then he remembered seeing the person pull their hair back and was 2 earrings right there in her ear. And then he went to the FBI agent. The FBI agents called the other informants, or Asher's whoever he reported to, who ends up being the person working for the Castillos, which I remember her in the first beginning of the season, pretending to be a neighbor for Annalise, that she was going to Airbnb and rent Annalise's office or her house instead. So he realizes that, and then he goes and tells Connor, Oliver, and Michaela that FBI actually ended up being the one that killed Asher. So that was very interesting. Not really surprised, because I thought it might have been Laurel too, but then I thought about, like, why would she frame her friends if she was trying to protect them for, going to prison? Why would she frame them? So yeah, it kind of makes sense, kind of doesn't, and we still don't know where Laurel is. We had a little scene with her for maybe a minute back before the mid-season finale, in the mid-season finale, and now I read online that she's supposed to be back the last 2 episodes, and Wes is supposed to be back not next week, but the week after the last 3 episodes. So I'm wondering, is he really alive? Is he a doppelganger twin? I'm thinking maybe Wes is alive, because I vaguely remember when his body was in the morgue, it also went missing. As far as I know, I don't remember them having a proper funeral burial for him at all, and that's the thing that, like, upsets me too. It's like, Wes did what he did out of pure self-defense. He was trying to stop Rebecca from being strangled. He hit him a little too hard with satchel. That's what happened, and he died. They should have done the right thing if they, of course, you're in a situation you're panicked, but if you had just gone to the cops, then you would have been charged instead of blaming Annalise. Annalise could, call the cops right away instead of trying to cover up for them, of course. But it is what it is. That happened. But he didn't deserve to die the way he did. I'm thinking, too, because his body disappeared, maybe he's not dead because there was a ban on his life. And he almost died in a fire. Maybe somebody helps him escape to pretend that he's dead. Just, so the Castillos would think that he's actually dead. Maybe Connor was able to save his life, when he found him. Maybe Nate helped him disappear for whatever reason. I don't really know. But, next week they're trying to get Annalise for murder, capital murder, asking for the death penalty, which she's killed no one. I don't understand where they're getting their evidence from, especially when they think that, the King Five are involved in it. And she's telling Teagan, they're coming for me. Let's give them something. Let them know we're not playing that, nothing mess with. So she's gonna go after the FBI the way they're going after her. So, and that is what's happening next week, and that was the episode of How to Get Away with Murder. Very excited. Unfortunately, 4 more, 15 episodes this season, so 4 more episodes left. But yeah, that's what was the episode, and that's my review on it. I loved it, as always. Viola Davis, amazing. Leslie Tyson, amazing. All the actors are just on top of their game, bottom line. But yeah, really interesting to see what happens next and how she's going to get herself out of this murder case. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye.